In the quiet heart of Whispering Meadow, a gentle bunny named Ellie nestled beneath her patchwork quilt. The moonlight painted soft patterns across her burrow walls, and the wind outside whispered lullabies through the grass. But Ellie couldn't sleep. She fluffed her pillow. She turned over once, then twice. Her big, soft ears twitched with excitement. Tomorrow was the Star Parade, a magical nighttime celebration where forest friends released dream balloons into the sky. Ellie had waited all year for it. Now that it was nearly here, her heart felt fizzy and fluttery like fireflies. She hugged her stuffed star bear close and sighed. "I want to sleep," she whispered, "but my thoughts are dancing." She tiptoed to her window and peeked out. The stars blinked gently above the treetops. Somewhere far off, an owl hooted. Ellie's cozy burrow was quiet, but inside her little chest, the excitement sparkled on. Would she ever fall asleep in time for the parade? Just then there was a soft tap at the door. It was her friend Willow, with an idea. Willow the fox stepped softly into Ellie's burrow, her fluffy tail trailing behind her like a sleepy cloud. "You're still awake," she whispered kindly. Ellie nodded, wide-eyed. "I've tried everything, Willow. I'm just too excited." Willow smiled and pulled a tiny jar from her satchel. "Let's try some moonlight breathing," she said. She placed the jar by the window, letting soft starlight spill inside. "Now, breathe in like you're filling the jar with starlight, and out like you're blowing it gently into the sky." Ellie closed her eyes and breathed. In and out. Little calmer. Little softer. Just then, Tiki the turtle peeked through the door with a tiny teacup balanced on his shell. "It's chamomile and clover," he said sleepily. "For gentle dreams." Ellie sipped slowly. It was warm and sweet and settled gently in her tummy. Outside, fireflies began to glow in slow, dreamy swirls, like stars waltzing in the dark. They flickered softly as if whispering, "Sleep is near." Ellie yawned, but still, a flutter of excitement remained. Maybe the Star Parade was just too magical to wait for. Outside Ellie's cozy burrow, the forest was slowly changing. Moonlight spilled like silver silk over the treetops, and soft music began to hum from somewhere deep within the woods. A gentle tune, like a lullaby riding on the breeze. The fireflies lifted higher now, forming glowing trails that led beyond the tall grass and into the forest's heart. Willow tilted her head and smiled. "It's starting," she whispered. "The Star Parade." Ellie blinked. "The real one? Right now?" Tiki nodded slowly. "The Star Parade always begins the moment the very last sleepy creature is tucked in." He looked at Ellie with a wink. Or almost tucked in. The three friends stepped into the moonlit meadow, paws and little soft feet. The trees swayed gently above, their leaves rustling like a chorus of a. Ahead, the forest clearing glowed with golden lanterns strung between tree trunks. Animals of every shape and size had gathered, wrapped in scarves, snuggled in blankets, sleepy-eyed and smiling. Deer and hedgehogs, raccoons and mice, even a very fluffy squirrel in pajamas. A long table sat beneath the starlit sky, covered in dream balloons, shimmering orbs that each held a soft, secret wish. One by one, animals gently let go of their balloons, and they floated upward, slowly rising, dancing toward the stars. Ellie gasped softly. The sight was magical. The balloons twinkled as they ascended, drifting into constellations made of dreams. A hush fell over the clearing. From above, perched on a wide oak branch, a wise old owl opened his wings and fluttered down. His feathers glimmered like stardust, and in his talons he held a scroll. "Tonight," Owl spoke gently, "we honor the dreams we carry and the peace that sleep brings." He glanced at Ellie and gave her a knowing nod. Sometimes the most restless hearts are simply waiting for the right story. Owl unrolled the scroll and began to read, his voice smooth and velvety. "Long ago, in a sky not so far from here, a little star couldn't find its twinkle. No matter how hard it tried, its light would flicker, then fade. Until one night, it listened, not to the wind or the world, but to its breath. It closed its eyes and rested, and in that stillness, its glow returned. Ellie listened with wide eyes, her heartbeat softening. As Owl's voice continued to weave gentle pictures in the air, she felt something she hadn't felt all evening. Stillness. The kind of stillness that makes your shoulders drop, your ears soften, and your thoughts quiet down like snow falling in the woods. A yawn escaped her lips, big and fluffy and unstoppable. Willow wrapped a blanket around her. Tiki handed her a tiny, glowing balloon. "Make your wish, Ellie," he whispered. Ellie closed her eyes and breathed it softly into the balloon. Up, up. It floated, shimmering into the night sky, where sleepy stars waited to catch it. And at last, Ellie was ready. From Ellie's Moonlight Adventures. The Snuggly Star Parade. The clearing was quiet now. Dream balloons had risen into the sky like floating whispers, drifting among the stars. The forest glowed with a soft silver hue, and even the wind moved slower, like it was tucking the world in for the night. Ellie sat wrapped in her blanket beside the glowing lantern tree, her head resting on Willow's fluffy tail. Tiki sat beside her, his eyes nearly closed, his breathing slow and deep. But Ellie still couldn't quite sleep, not because she was excited anymore but because it was so beautiful. Too beautiful, she thought, to close her eyes. The gentle music of the forest continued, a slow lullaby hummed by leaves, by breezes, by the hush of contented woodland hearts. The wise old owl fluttered down once again and landed softly beside Ellie. His feathers shimmered in the moonlight, and when he looked at her, his eyes twinkled like twin stars. "You're close now," he said softly. "But sometimes the heart needs one more story to help it float." Ellie nodded sleepily. "Just one more. Then snuggle in," Owl said, curling his wings around her like a feathery blanket. "And I'll tell you a very old tale, of a bunny much like you who discovered where dreams are born." Ellie yawned a big sleepy yawn, hugged her star bear close and let her ears droop. The forest listened too. And Owl began. "Once upon a hush, in a land beyond even the tallest trees, there lived a little bunny named Elara. She lived in the sky meadow, a place that floated far above the clouds, where flowers shimmered and the grass hummed gently when you walked on it. Elara was different from the other bunnies in Sky Meadow. While the rest loved hopping, playing, and chasing glowing butterflies, Elara was always watching the stars. Every night, she'd sit on her little cloudstone porch and whisper to the sky, "Where do dreams go when we sleep?" No one really knew the answer. Some said they drifted to Dream Lake. Others believed the stars carried them away like letters. But Elara wanted to see it for herself. She wanted to find the dream keeper, the one who looked after all the dreams in the world. So, one night, just after twilight had folded over the meadow like a cozy blanket, Elara packed a tiny bag with her dream journal, a moonberry muffin, and a scarf knitted by her grandmother. And she tiptoed into the sky. Ellie's eyes fluttered, and Owl's voice became softer, more rhythmic, like floating on a cloud. Elara hopped from one floating puff of cloud to another. The air shimmered. Stars blinked curiously at her. Soon, she met a floating whale who sang lullabies with a voice deeper than thunder, yet softer than snow. He offered her a ride across the sea of stillness. As they sailed, he said, "Dreams aren't just stories. They're wishes folded in stardust. Some shine brightly. Others hide and wait to be found." Elara listened with wide eyes. After drifting for what felt like forever, but only took one slow heartbeat, they arrived at a glowing island made entirely of soft moss and sleeping trees. The trees had hammocks hanging from their branches, and each hammock held a glowing dream. Some dreams glowed gold. These were the brave dreams. Some shimmered blue. These were the peaceful ones. Some sparkled purple. Those were the curious dreams still unfolding. In the very center of the island stood a tall, gentle figure made of moonlight and mist. The Dream Keeper. Owl's voice slowed even more, lulling Ellie deeper into the softness. Elara stepped forward. The Dream Keeper smiled and knelt to her. "You've come far," the Dream Keeper said. Why do you seek me? I want to understand dreams, Elara whispered. I want to know where they go and how they're made. The dreamkeeper nodded. Dreams begin in the quietest moments of the heart, she said. When you stop chasing, stop wondering, stop worrying, and simply rest. That's when dreams find you. Elara tilted her head. But what if I can't rest? The dreamkeeper reached into her robe and pulled out a small jar. Inside it swirled a soft silver fog. This is called stillness, she said. A single breath of it can settle 1,000 thoughts. She handed the jar to Elara. Now, it's time for you to return. Your dreams will wait for you. Right where you left them. And just like that, the dreamkeeper tapped her paw gently. And Elara was back in her hammock, in the sky meadow, tucked under the stars. She breathed in. She breathed out. The jar in her paws shimmered once, then melted into the air. Elara fell asleep with a smile on her face, because she finally understood. You don't have to go looking for dreams. You just have to close your eyes and let them come to you. By now, Ellie's breaths were slow and deep. The forest had grown completely still. Not silent, just peaceful. Even the fireflies had curled up inside their lantern blossoms. Owl peeked down at the little bunny in his feathers. Her eyes were closed. Her starbear was tucked beneath her chin. And from her nose came the tiniest, softest snore. He smiled. Around her, Willow dozed gently, curled in a golden leaf. Tiki's head bobbed softly, already half asleep. The star parade was over, and so was the night. Owl carefully lifted Ellie into his wings and began the slow, gliding journey back to her burrow. The moon watched them from above, her glow gentler now, as if humming her own lullaby to the sleepy forest below. When Owl laid Ellie back in her bed, her blanket still warm and crinkled, he placed a tiny star petal on her pillow. It shimmered once and disappeared. Outside, the wind stirred through the tall grass, whispering to anyone still awake. Sleep now, little dreamer. Your stories will wait. The night is yours. And so are the stars. Crescent Moon ZZZ.